Hey world builders, welcome back to Build Together. This is day 48. Today's prompt is there a precious resource countries and kingdoms have gone to or would go to war over in your world? How is it harvested? Are there any trade agreements or treaties surrounding it? So I read about a document called Demolition Bans. Maybe sounds weird considering the prompt, but on Etovia, it was discovered sometime early in the Age of Nations that if you deconstructed a large building, and especially an old building that has societal significance, oftentimes you would find what is called a minor stone in either the foundation or the cornerstone of the building. Minor stones are similar to these other things called godstones, which are exceedingly more rare. Godstones have this insane meta output. Meta is like mana, kind of. And minor stones have a similar capacity to godstones, but with a fraction of the output. So in many ways, they're safer, but they're still this sort of like unending well of power that you can use to power a lot of things. And so people started to go like and raid other towns. Countries started to demolish their own like churches and theaters. And at first, a lot of the like common folk were like, "Well, we've been promised that our lives will get better after this happens because the people that lead us will have access to all this useful power to make our quality of life more better." And so at first they were down for this to happen. They didn't like it, but they were okay if the fruits of the destruction came and were useful to them. But then come 3 years and they're still living in the same hut, eating the same food, doing the same stuff, and getting the same wage, and pretty quickly realized that this is not conducive to actually making life better, especially now that like there were like criminal organizations and governments raiding other like city states and small settlements and things like that, and it had just gone fully off the rails. And then Urata Kaiki, the first head priest of the Zohar nation, used Laheta for the first time, according to legend, to broadcast basically to his entire nation, like, hey, we got to stop this. Civilization, like at its core, is going to like be completely damaged or even fall if we continue down this path. And then other more Eastern nations from Zohar were also really encouraged to punish people who did this stuff. And so very quickly, public immolation became the very common punishment for people who were doing this stuff, even though it had now long been considered a big no-no. That's what I wrote about, demolition bans. What is a resource that people would go to war to or make treaties over in your world? Thanks for building together.